Hail, hail, the gang's all here. Welcome to BariAftercare from all the BariAftercare team. Listen, you have no idea the chaos ensuing prior to this video, but we are super glad to be here. We are almost all together in the same physical location, but we wanted to get ourselves together as a group and introduce to you all of the BariAftercare people who are making this a great, great community for our post-op friends and pre-op friends, right? I mean, even though this is BariAftercare, the sooner you get started living like you've had surgery, the easier your journey is going to be. So I'm Connie Stapleton, licensed psychologist, been working in this field for 18 plus years. And I have known one of these. We're going to do a little trivia. Is it Henry? Is it Kalisha? Is it Rob? Is it Tabitha? Or is it Laura? I have known one of these people my entire bariatric career. Hum, dum, 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 dum. Would the real, look at Rob. Is it that one?
I'm
That one?
funny.
That one? Would the real long-term post-op who has been my buddy for 18 years please introduce yourself?
It's me! Hi, everybody!
It's Laura.
I think I'm going to call myself the matriarch.
I think you ought to.
My name's Laura Preston, and I live in Niles, Michigan, and I had a gastric bypass 18 years ago. And I literally met Connie at my very first patient conference. It was an obesity help conference. It was her first time presenting. It was my first conference I ever attended, and our love affair started then.
Yes, and let me tell you about this woman. She has been the face of BariAftercare, even though it wasn't called BariAftercare, and even though we weren't working officially together. But what I mean by that is Laura has lived a healthy aftercare lifestyle for 18 years. She knows pretty darn much everybody in this industry, has worked as a professional in this industry, and knows her stuff. And so BariAftercare is something that I put together about a year and a half ago, and I am not a marketing person. I am not a social media person. I am not a lot of things that Laura is. And she very graciously and generously has agreed to building this thing where I can't, in terms of especially the Facebook group, because she's building it into, and in the very few short weeks, she has been implementing her skills and her knowledge and her brilliance. We've got community growing and growing on that BariAftercare Facebook page. Literally, I could not do this without you, Laura, and I will never in my lifetime stop singing your praises, not just for this and not just your contribution to this, but for the contributions of everything you have done in this bariatric community for all of these 18 years. You are an advocate. You help other people. You match people to who they need to be working with in this community. You have been in there. You have been at all the conferences. You know all the players, and you are humble and wise, and you share that wisdom with so many. And I am beyond grateful that you are an integral part of BariAftercare and kind of running the show. And
Oh,
it's I am blessed to have you as a friend and in my life.
pass the tissues, you guys.
I
Oh.
know.
But I'm
It's
super
true.
excited because it's not a one person show. There's nothing about community. There's nothing about long term success. All these players on the screen, I've had the pleasure of meeting most of them through Zoom, and I'm an 18-year-old post-op, and there's new things coming all the time, and the community's growing. And post-ops today are so much smarter and stronger. Like I learned things from listening to Rob and Tabitha and Kalisha, and God knows we all need Chef Henry. At least in my kitchen, I'm a Connie part two. So
Oops.
I'm just blessed to be here and excited to bring what I can and the knowledge I can.
And thank you for organizing us and organizing the Facebook page and bringing the people and to feel safe and comfortable to share in that community. I really appreciate it. So you are kind of the spearhead and the glue for sure. All right, Tabitha, I met a year and a half, oh, a year, just over a year ago. And
Yep.
Tabitha has become like a surrogate daughter to me. We are very kindred in our professions and in our just the way we think about life. And Tabitha is a licensed therapist and also a bariatric coach. And so her knowledge of therapy and mindset and alcohol and drug history and addiction and food addiction and bariatric coaching is something that we need in BariAftercare. And Tabitha is also a post-op. So please introduce yourself, Tabitha.
Yes. Hey, everybody. And thank you for the beautiful intro, Connie. So I'm Tabitha Johnson, licensed marriage and family therapist, licensed clinical alcohol and drug abuse counselor. I had VSG almost 7 years ago, about 6.5 years. And then I ended up creating a business, a coaching business around bariatrics, and did a certification in health and life coaching. Met Connie a little over a year ago at a WLSFA conference, and the woman has changed my life. So I'm super grateful and honored to be here. She has no idea that she entered into my world at just the right time when I needed additional support and guidance personally. So thank you, Connie. Um, I'm excited to be a part of BariAftercare to share whatever I can. I'm also the type of person that really kind of shares from places of my mistakes to help people understand that this is not a perfect journey by any means, and there's going to be setbacks. And I just want to kind of normalize the experience that just because I have licenses and certifications does not mean that I don't, struggle with my own mindset and my own, um, you know, things that I carried with me from before surgery. So thank you for letting me share.
And Tabitha and I do every month for BariAftercare, we do an interview together on family, friends, and relationships because we want you to incorporate all of your support people into this process because the disease of obesity is not a one person issue. Everybody in your life has been affected by the struggles that you have gone through, whether it be because of physical abilities or inabilities depending on your mobility and different capacities that each person has had to struggle with in terms of relationships as relationships change throughout your health journey. So Tabitha and I talk about those, and then we have recently discovered another sort of side segment. You want to talk about that piece, Tab?
Yes, so both Connie and I share a similar faith. We both believe in God and recognize the importance of spirituality in this journey. And so we really are looking at how can we incorporate spirituality on the bariatric journey so that we're kind of looking at something greater than ourselves. Um, Even in just the way that we view ourselves, for me personally, I believe in God. And so how can I look at myself the way God looks at me versus the world, and just learn how to redefine, some of the faulty thinking that I've had in the past. And we just, a lot of the clients that I work with actually bring in their faith into our coaching process. And it's been a really beautiful experience to watch people thrive and grow in their spiritual life in addition to the bariatric life. So that's kind of something we're working on. Really excited. And I know it's a little bit bold in the bariatric community because it's not something we really talk about, but we definitely feel compelled to bring a message. And for those that are open to hearing it, welcome.
Yeah, and that will be called Berry Blessings, and it won't necessarily be a
Yes.
part of Berry Aftercare. It's going to be for those people who want specifically to seek that out. So, but that's something that
Yes.
we're going to be doing together. All right, Chef
Yes.
Healthy Henry. We met about the same time as I met Tabitha, and everybody loves food. Not everybody loves to cook. And when we are in the process of developing a healthy lifestyle, which hopefully that is part of the goal as a post-op, lifestyle includes how you think, the ways you express yourself, the way you communicate. It affects your spirituality, your family, but we've got to eat healthy if we're going to have healthy bodies. So, Chef Healthy Henry, I loved the title, first of all. And then I met Henry, and we've had some amazing discussions, and he spent plenty of time at my house showing me how he makes cooking fun. And this past week, he's had groups of people in the house uh, experimenting and showing them how to cook and eating healthy meals with them. So, talk about what you bring to Berry Aftercare, Chef Healthy Henry.
So I've I went to a culinary school 20 years ago, and I had my surgery 2.5 years ago, and so my purpose now is to create bariatric friendly recipes, put them out there for bariatric patients and for the world in general. Just everybody's got to cook healthy these days. Rob offers fitness, and you guys offer mindset, but it all comes down to you can't really eat healthy unless you know how to cook healthy, really. And it's it's my privilege, not just my job, but my privilege to get people in the kitchen and show them how fun cooking can actually be, and how the community. When I talk about community, I'm talking about your family can come together, cook together, eat together, and really savor that the healthiness of the food that they're putting in their bodies, and they can go off and they can get the workouts, they can get the mindful stuff because their stomach's full of healthy, good food, and that's when rejuvenate themselves for all the other aspects of their lives. So it's super important. And yeah, come into my kitchen. I'll go to your kitchen, and I make it fun. We do new things. We do experiment things, and we talk about where we're at in our journeys. And we just kind of get to know each other, and I just make a fun atmosphere for sure.
And one of the things that Henry brings to what he does, like Tabitha and like Rob, I know Laura and Kalisha, you don't have younger people in your world at this time necessarily, but you have families, right? And I know for each one of you and each one of us, family is a critical part of our lives. It's one of our greatest values. And having your family as part of your bariatric care journey, is that Steve making that
Yeah.
noise? Who's closest to him? Tab, that would be you. Would you just, poke your head out there and tell him?
Yep. I just muted myself. I'll go poke myself out there.
Thanks. Good God. Thanks, honey. That would be the love bug. Everybody knows Steve. Everybody knows Steve as the love bug. The love bug is creating noise in the kitchen, and we all happen to be in my house except for Laura and Felicia. So every little sound counts. And we are just real life and real people, and this is really what's freaking happening. But anyway, we were talking about the value of the people we love. I know Laura and her mom walk together a lot. Laura's dog is a part of everybody who loves Laura's life. And so she's really caretaking for her dog right now and her family. So family is very important to her. And Felicia, I met your mom. She came and cooked with Chef Healthy Henry. But Henry's family is a large part of what he does. And he and his daughter have cooked together since she was a little girl. And so what Henry talks about is bringing your family into this cooking experience with you as part of a healthy post op life because we want them to come into our worlds and be more a part of it rather than developing a distance. It's all about connection. Life is about connection, right? So, Kalisha, I'm
Yes.
going to jump to you next and talk about how I have watched you grow as a person for the last 3 years since you've had your surgery. And Kalisha had her surgery done at a practice where I do a lot of pre-surgical evaluations. And I do the support group for that. And Kalisha is always there. And she always brings in this information. I'm like, where is this woman getting this wisdom and this knowledge? And she shares it not in a listen, it's got to be this way kind of approach, but I read this thing and what I've learned about that is, and this is where I got that from. So it's not like she very humbly shares the wisdom she is picking up along the way and just wants the best for everybody. So, Kalisha, let's talk about your involvement as a peer mentor in the Berry Aftercare program.
Well, I am just blessed to be able to help other people along their journeys before, after, just to really just help them understand that this is definitely possible and that, they're worth the effort that it takes to get to those goals, and to kind of just really look within themselves to figure out who they are so that they can align their habits and behaviors to reach the goals that they set. And I think a lot of times it comes down to awareness. A lot of us aren't aware of our value, or we've been disvalued and discredited for so long, and so we have to build ourselves up, and we can't wait for someone else to do it, because we have to do it. It's an inside job. And so whatever I can learn and share with other people so that they can feel loved and valued, that's what I'd like to do.
Awesome. So, Laura, can you share with how you've kind of structured the Barry Aftercare Facebook page so that, I was just haphazard about it because not my skill set. So, kind of explain what we've got going on within the Facebook Barry Aftercare online community.
I would love to, but before I jump there, I think we should introduce Rob.
Oh no, I was saving Rob. No,
Okay, all right,
just
good. No,
kidding. Just kidding. I was saving Rob for last because sorry, Rob. Let me tell you about Rob. I was saving you for last because you crack my hind end up so much. And I value you so much, not only for what you bring to the community, for what you have brought to my life, not only your technical skills and what you're teaching me about that, but your joie de vivre, your love of what you do, your love of your family, and that again, all of this group has value. Their values are built around their families, but they know, each of us knows that we have to be our best self, mind, body, spirit, in order to be the best for our families. So you tell how we met, but that is what drew me to Rob. I knew nothing about him, and I met him. We didn't even speak at that event, and I reached out to him because I was like, "Listen, whatever you're doing, I am super impressed by and touched by because I love what your values are." So
You're making me blush over here, Connie. For those of you who don't know me, hi, I'm Rob. I'm a certified personal trainer and nutrition coach. I had bariatric surgery 3 years ago, and I pretty much read all of Dr. Connie's work right up until we were in the same room in November. In true fashion, I had full imposter syndrome. I did not even have the nerve to go up and talk to her because her voice and her message meant so much to me. When she reached out to me, it took me about a week to respond to her because I didn't even know how to craft the email. So I think I always like to tell people when they think like, oh, you have it all together. It's like you have no idea on the back end how much is free flowing in the wind. With all that, it's been an awesome whirlwind ride since we've started to talk and connect with everything and share our vision of how we want to help the bariatric community. And I think it's really important that when we're working through this, that fitness does play a part of it. We've talked constantly all weekend and through our talks of finding a joy of movement. And I think for so many of us, especially when we got to our highest weight, movement was not something that we found fun or even enjoyable or even manageable. So the idea of taking our weaknesses and making them into our strengths is something that I truly believe in. And that if we continue to work on the things that we need the most growth in, it's really going to develop us into a more holistic approach of life after bariatric surgery. Since then, I have taken a shower in your house. I've used the toilet. I'm just putting it out there. This is showing growth, people. But
we're
I
close
have asked,
now.
yes, yes. We'll see if I get invited back. That's always the fun part. But the point I want to make is that you do not have to be perfect to be a bariatric patient. You just have to show progress. And it's one of those things that I think is very important, and that the group that we have surrounding ourselves in bariatric care understand that you do not have to be able to run a mile overnight or at all, but you do have to find a happiness in your movement and consistently work that towards your goals. So just excited to be a part of the team and see how I can help and contribute in my own quirky ways.
I'm really glad to know you don't have to run a mile ever because that I'd have to kick myself out of Barry Aftercare because that ain't
Nope.
happening.
Still have not ran a mile. If you see me running in real life, please know that something is chasing me. You need to call for help and you need to move in the direction I am moving in. So,
Absolutely, I'm with you on that. But I love movement, and I Rob kept using the words joy of movement yesterday. And I said, did you know, Rob, there's a book with that title? And there it is. So I happen to be reading that right now. And I too value the joy of movement. And what I love about Rob's approach is it's do it your way. Do what you find joy in. There's no prescribed way. So again, my belief is that we are covering the bases here, starting with Laura, who has more bariatric knowledge than anybody I know, bar none. And Tabitha, whose approach balances mine. I am all out there. I'm going to give it to you straight. For some people, it's a little too harshly, and I get that. Tabitha balances it out with more thought out statements and a softer approach. And love her message. Chef Healthy Henry brings to you recipes, and we're going to let them tell you each how you can find them individually, because it's not just on BariAftercare that he's showing you how to cook. He's got a ton of recipes out there that he'll walk you through. Rob brings that critical element of movement and will help you find joy in that. Kalisha brings wisdom and the example of looking for a lot of great information through podcasts and books and resources, because it's all out there, and it's all out there to you for free. It doesn't cost anything. And that's one of the things we were talking about yesterday. There are paid services throughout the bariatric world. There are all kinds of things you could pay for, but the beauty is for those people who literally cannot afford a lot of programs or therapy or whatever, there's tremendous amounts available to you online from all of us and from many, many, many others. So there's really no excuse not to increase your knowledge of healthy lifestyle, bariatric patient or not, because it's available to you out there. So Laura, now go for it.
Okay, so what our goal is, Connie has this plethora of community through all of her books, her podcasts, like the amount of projects, like the collection is vast. So inside of Barry Aftercare in her Facebook group, so if you join with us individually or you come through one of the practices Connie works with, we wanted her personal Facebook group to be a community, a place where you could share your wins, find help, find assistance, and build it almost like a little library that you have access to when you need it. Because let's be real, at different times of the day, we all have moments. So, what the goal is that you can wake up with us every day and start your day from Connie's daily affirmation that goes up about 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, where she gives us a quote of the day and a thought. And we're all going to try to jump in and contribute, but it's a place to start your mindset, to put something, pour in positive to the day. And then each one of us targets a day of the week. Some of us travel, some of us are out and about. We're going to cover each other. But each of us at one point in time during the week is going to bring you a daily take, a random thought. It might be Rob at the airport, Chef Henry might be in the kitchen, Kalisha might be out in the car on an errand on her way and have one of her brilliant moments, because I love a good Kalisha daily take. Or it could be Tabitha, working through things, but we want to have a daily live moment where we come to you live, and it could be us sharing what's happening in our lives. We're all in different chapters of life, like Connie mentioned. So it might be me sharing struggles with family or my poor pug right now, or it might be someone sharing stories of their children. We all are in different points. So you have a daily affirmation at 10 a.m. Between 8 and 12, you're going to have a daily take where we come to you live. And then throughout the week, each week, like Connie mentioned, there's friends and family with Connie and Tabitha. There's Chef Henry cooking for us. There's all kinds of education filtered in throughout the month. You're going to see more programming coming. Kalisha runs a live support group that I had the blessing of attending last week. You can join her on Zoom in a bigger community. Rob does a men's group as well. We're going to keep adding nuggets in so you can find the pivot in the place with what you're struggling for. So right now we're under construction. In the room, there's guides. If you click at the tab at the top and hit guides, I'm trying to file the pieces in there. So when you join us, you can go in and find the history and the archives. So it's a work in progress. I'm slowly adding Connie's books in. There's talk of a book club coming. There's talk of the new, what'd you call it? Bariatric blessings, the new spirituality piece coming. And we're going to keep pouring in. So in the moments that you need it, you can either find a recipe, you can find some motivation, maybe you find a workout. So it's evolving with time. And we are going to be doing more. I am going to contribute for sure a live Zoom where if you're comfortable, you can join us live and chit chat and really share that community.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And this is why I need you, because I don't know how to organize all of that. And I don't know a lot of things about adding those. Also in the bariatric community, in the bariatric rooms, you can link to videos that I've done. I did a series called Mind Prep. Mind prep is good whether you're in the preparation stages for bariatric care or anytime throughout the process. In fact, I encourage people to listen to them on your surgiversary date because it brings you back to the basics. And this is five pre-op and five post-op videos, but again, they're relevant wherever you are in your journey. And I would make that an annual visit to watch that series of videos because there's so much information. And you can kind of say, oh, yeah, last year when I watched this, I was at, and look at where I've grown to this year. There's also some Mythbuster videos in there. There's access to articles that I've written over the 18 years. So Laura's in the process of archiving all of those so you have access to all of those. Plus, if you're a member of BariAftercare, you get retreat discounts. So I do women's retreats, and I've done those for the past 4 years. And this year, for the very first time, we're doing a men's retreat. And Rob and Chef Healthy Henry will be here. And we are going to get a small group of men together because it's very difficult for men in the bariatric community to find a support group of men. You know, it seems like women are more out there, more on social media in these groups. But this support group, that peer led support group that Rob is doing, is to share with those other men. So men have a place to go and say, you know what? These are my wins, these are my struggles. And the guys can talk in ways that women may not be able to relate to. And so they're going to both be at the first men's retreat, which is coming up this fall. You'll get information about it, but we'll be posting on here and in other places. So if you're a woman or a man, know that we have retreats. And if you're a BariAftercare member, you get discounts on those. There's also a class that I teach called Gain While You Lose, one of my favorite things that I've ever done in my career. And it's a 10-week online class where we go into a lot of the deeper issues related to the struggles to maintain following through with the healthy behaviors. So you don't go back to those old behaviors and get that old weight regain back. We want to avoid that. We want to stay in the healthy mindset and build a healthy lifestyle, food, activity, spirit, mind, body, the whole thing. So that's what BariAftercare is growing to be, and these amazing people. And I do mean, I cannot imagine finding better people for each one of these positions than this group of people. So I appreciate all of you, and I'm going to give you a minute here to share whatever else you want to share because you have businesses in the community where you can benefit. And I have all of your handles on the podcast notes for every podcast, and we're always trying to make mention of you. But give everybody information where they can contact you and what services that you can offer them. Tabitha.
So on Instagram, I'm at the Real Berry Boss. My website is berryboss.com, and Facebook is Berry Boss, or at Berry Boss. And I plan to be a lot more active in Berry Aftercare. You guys are going to get to know I'm a bit of a dork. Kind of share that with Connie, so I don't know which way I'm pointing.
You calling me a
Um,
dork?
I mean, I thought we
Thank you for
established the
acknowledging
dorkdom,
that.
so
Yes, I love dorkdom.
I'm very quirky, similar to Rob. Maybe not as New Jersey like, but you guys will get to know me. So thank you again for having me.
So they can reach out to you for bariatric coaching,
Yes,
regardless of what state they live in.
absolutely, yes. So coaching, I'm allowed to coach worldwide, so you don't have to live in Nevada. We're all good.
Perfect. Thank you. Rob.
Hey everyone, you can find me on Instagram at My Weight is History. If you're interested in fitness and nutrition help, you can go to www.busybariatrics.com because we're too busy. So many times we think we're in a bariatric bubble and we have to find things that make it work. You can go there or you can DM me. And if you DM me, what's the buzz? I will give you a special promo for our summer package. So we're going to do a little homework and see who's still listening to me at this point in here.
I love that. Yes. And we always say we're too busy for this, too busy for that. We're not going to be too busy to find joy in movement.
Exactly. We find a way to make it work in our schedule, people.
That's right. Good job. Thanks. Henry.
Hey, so I'm pretty easy. Chef Healthy Henry all over, whether it's YouTube, my website, or social media. I'm super easy to contact. But I'm here to teach people how to cook. You can eat whatever you want. I hope you could eat healthy, but I'm just here to teach you how to cook it. And you can DM me. You can contact me if you have questions. Someone asked me off of Facebook if I could do a berry friendly Indian dish, and I'm like, yeah, let me work on that right now and get that for you. And that's exactly how I work. You find something you want, just send it to me, and I'll start working on it for you because that's my purpose, to get it to you so you can enjoy the stuff that you like, but in a more berry friendly way.
Excellent. Thank you. Kalisha.
I am on Instagram at CALE101. Feel free to contact me there or in the Berry Aftercare Facebook group. You can add me on Facebook. It's Kalisha Haynes. It's only one of me. That's CALESHIAHAYNES. Feel free to contact me with your questions and concerns. I'm really good at finding answers when I don't know it. So if you and just kind of pointing you in the right direction, or even if you just need some encouragement and some motivation, I'm happy to do that for you.
Great. Thank you, Kalisha. I appreciate you. Laura.
Well, you can find me in BariAftercare. No. I will be spending a big bulk of time building that out with Connie and running the show there. If you want to follow along with me, I am on Facebook. I'm at Laura Preston. If you actually type in at Bariatric Regain, because I actually own that domain, you'll find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram at Laura Lee Preston. But what I will tell you is I don't live tons out loud crazy there just because I had worked in industry for a very, very long time. So right now I'm working with Connie on BariAftercare. I do run a women's only support group that I've really never advertised publicly. It is called the Sisterhood, and I'm going to be opening up membership to that more publicly over the summer, but it's a very amazing group of women. We deep dive. One thing that I am very passionate about being an 18-year post-op is I always like to take a big circle, and I am a bariatric patient, but I'm Laura Preston first. So at this point in my life and journey, I am very opinionated. I've been around the block a few times and back. So I like to really shoot and tell how it is. I love education. I love learning and growing. So that's kind of where it all happens in the sisterhood. But I would love hang out with me on social media. You'll see a lot of pug walks and movement and those kind of fun things. But I will be basically a lot of my time will be spent in BariAftercare.
Yeah, and I'm going to do a little, what do they call those things when you give a hint? Like Taylor Swift drops an Easter egg or whatever she does. What do you call those things?
Is it an
Um,
Easter egg?
A
yeah,
teaser?
it's an Easter
I
egg.
don't
I'll
know.
just tell you, Laura and I, watch out. We're going to do a podcast. And it's going to have nothing to do with bariatrics, but you better watch out because we're both two opinionated women. And we're not afraid to say what those opinions are. Yeah.
But I
Drop the
will say,
mic.
Connie, when you say that, that is one of the most powerful things about the bariatric community because there's two strong things. See, this is my advocacy hat I got on. There's two strong things that all of us own: the power of how and where we spend our money and the power of our voices. Those are two ways you get to vote in any capacity of your life. So I think that investing in long-term community and the community, whether it's BariAftercare, whether it's coaching, whatever it is, but also being educated, and using your voice and sharing your truth and your story. It's the most powerful things we own as people. And that's what's so powerful about this team. We've got people from all over the United States. We've got different backgrounds, different experiences. But I think developing your voice, because your journey changes you. It changes you for the rest of your life. And you learn so much. And there are seasons in that journey. And it's so beautiful to see this team of people and to be able to have someone that's 18 years out, to have someone that's brand new out, patience, where they are in their journeys. You get to define your path. You get to define your journey and your adventure. You're the one that makes the choices. Nobody's coming to save us. We save ourselves. We're our own superheroes. So that is the power of bariatric communities.
Absolutely. So get what you need. And if that lands in BariAftercare, we are delighted to have you. But we want you taking care of yourself in all areas of your life. This is the BariAftercare community that is going to help you in this capacity. And we just wanted to get together and let you know a little bit more about each one of us individually. So thanks for joining us, and join us. Thanks, guys. Thanks for taking your time today.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you.
In the living room.
Bye.
Bye.